I want to invite Sarah, Benita, and Jane to join me on stage for a little conversation. So I thought this would give you you can start down the end there, a really good insight. Jane Herman, so thank you, Jane, for joining us. Jane has been studying thinking into results now for 4 or 5 months? Yep. Sarah's been with me for a few years, and Benita's 12 months. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about later is just to share your own, maybe a really big, something that you've accomplished or created that seemed like a fantasy. Because I think one of the things about this is that you hear these stories and you think, but that couldn't happen to me, or it's too good to be true, or, I'm not like that. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping you understand that this is about real people. It is about your life. It is about what you want. And for so long, I thought that it was impossible, that I couldn't have it all. I was sick, I was tired, I was flat, and I thought it's not possible. And we were talking about this earlier today, Benita, that it's not possible to have it all. But you really can. Benita, share a little bit about just the last couple of weeks for you, but the last 12 months, if you can briefly, reflect on where you were 12 months ago and where you are today.
Okay, so I started thinking results nearly spot on 12 months ago, and at the time was really stuck. Really stuck. So to paint the picture, we live on a farm 120 k's from the nearest town, and so we spend a lot of time on the farm, just my husband and I running our farm business. We had at the time 4 small children, 4 and under, and so my life was very much day in, day out, looking after children, keeping the farm running, and I'd sort of given up on what I really wanted. I thought I had what I wanted. I had the kids, we had the farm, so I sort of hadn't done anything for me for a number of years. So I joined the program because I'd gotten to the point where I recognised I really needed to make some changes. And so basically, as soon as I started, things did start to change, and within a few weeks of starting thinking into results, identified what I really did want, and I think one of the greatest outcomes for me from thinking into results is that feeling of freedom that comes with recognising that anything is possible. And it was so liberating for me to join the program and go, goodness, this is not the end of my life. Now I'm a mum in my business. This is just the beginning. I can do anything. And it was so exciting to me. I had numerous goals, as I'm sure most of you do, and had to choose which one I really wanted to focus on. Karen's talked about focus a lot, and the goal I wanted to focus on was to finish writing a book that I'd been dibbling and dabbling on for years and sort of thinking I might do, maybe will I, should I, won't I? But I made the committed decision within a few weeks to write it and to finish it and to publish it. And the vision for it grew as I kept doing thinking into results. It started out as quite a small, my vision for it was quite small. And then Karen kept expanding and pushing me and suggesting, and it launched last week and was an international bestseller. So I never would have imagined that, and it's proof that this system really works. And having a mentor that sees a vision for you that is bigger than what you see for yourself is so important.
Yeah, beautiful. Sarah, what about you? So you've been in this for 3 years. What's been a couple of really big shifts that you weren't expecting or thinking you could accomplish? So if you think about in doing the impossible.
I think going back, it was only a couple of years ago, but even then I didn't really hold the space for the vision of of it, but now finding myself working with and for you and helping other people is probably the biggest shift for me in self-confidence, because I think I never really thought about it. It just kind of evolved, and I think that's really important. And again, you know, we had business goals and we had personal goals to build the house and to expand the business and grow the business, and going after that, I kind of have grown into this person that I was only talking to Rachel earlier tonight and said, I look back and I think, wow, was that me? And then I said, you actually saw me like that. And I know that I'm only just scratching the surface, and that's the most exciting thing, because the one thing that you can do is when you share a vision and a dream with people that can hold the space for you, is they actually see you as that person. If they don't know you personally, they see you as your dream created. Anybody that I speak with, that's how I know them. So,
100%.
yeah.
Yep. Jane, what about you? So 4 months in? Yep. So tell us a little bit about your business and what's been in 4 months. You're like, oh my goodness, how am I even here in 4 months?
Wow, it's been a long dream, I guess, to run a successful business. I have a unique business. I run a glamping business, a glamping company. And when I first started with you, we were like, oh yeah, this is fun. We'll keep doing this. This is good. And then all of a sudden, these little gems kept popping out of every lesson that we did. And like, we have grown our business. It's skyrocketed within the 4 months. And I think that shifted in having the confidence that there is something out there that I can ask for, and it can help me professionally, it can help me personally, and it can help me go, you know what, I have this crazy idea and I think, I want that, and I'm going to get that. And, you know, we had this vision of, yeah, sure, let's give that a go. And that vision's really coming true for me. So, and I'm very blessed to have that. So, yeah.
I want you to each talk about decision and fear, because I think they go hand in hand. Certainly in my experience of it, we want something and we want to get it, but we're also scared of what it might mean, good and bad. Even the really good things, we can get caught up in, well, what might I lose? And it's so easy to measure what we're giving up or what we're investing or the time it might take for something to accomplish, but we can never measure what we're going to get. So I want you to talk in 2 parts to this. I want you to talk about the decision around your goal and really going for it, but also the decision to invest to work with me, to come and work with me, what it was like to make that decision and act on it.
Well, the decision to come and work, like to do the course, was like, oh my God, I can't do this. There's no way I'm going to be able to get that cash and drop it like it's hot, really. Yeah. And it was.
But you did.
I did. And when I was filling in the details, I was like, oh man. And when I hit send or pay now, like, well, it's done. All right. I'm off to Coles to do a shop. Like, it was that, wow. It's done. Moving on. And so you see
but
that.
But you were scared.
Horrendously scared.
Yeah.
Like, my husband is a CFO, and I go, hey babe, I want to do this course. It's going to cost a little bit of time and money and effort on my behalf. He's like, maybe, well, let's see where it fits. And I'm like, I'm doing this, dude. It's going to happen. I've got this, and I'm going to do it. And that's how I moved forward, and I just went ahead and did it. And I'm going to join the next program. And, you know, in my head, in fact, I think I had the call during the break with Dean and said, hey, by the way, just let you know, I'm doing this thing again. And I'll see you when I get home. Bye. So, you know, there is a fear, and you just think, I don't know where this is going to come from. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But when you kind of just go, you know what? As you say, it is done. It's done. It's happening. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Love it.
definitely felt a lot of fear in my journey with Karen, and I'm sure I'm going to feel some more. I likened it to, having a door there and you really want to see what's on the other side, but you're so scared to open it for what could be there.
True.
And as soon as you open it and you see all of the beauty of what you can create, it's just like, so it just releases something within you. And I think having done it several times now, the feeling that you get on the other side just gets better and better and bigger and bigger. And I know you've said before, you get addicted to the growth, and it's so true.
Yeah.
It is so true. You get to a certain point where you kind of feel like, I want more. Like, what am I doing? I need to do something different. And it's just coming to me now that that's what it is. It's that you get addicted to the growth and you want more of that. So you're willing to walk through your failures to receive your success. And I think, sometimes you've got to bet on yourself and have the self-confidence, which I didn't have any of. And it's growing and growing every time I make those decisions to honour myself and my dreams. That's, it's worth it, absolutely.
Love it.
I think you get to a point where you can make a decision when your obligation becomes greater than your fear. So for me, when I came to work with you, my obligation was to myself, to our children, that I could be better than I was being, and that in order to be better, I needed help. So it was a bit the same with the book. My obligation to the people that I knew I could help through the book became greater than the fear. Even though the fear has been there the whole way through, it's still there. Now I know people are reading it, it's rearing its head big time, It's one thing to write something, one thing for people to read it. But there was something very early on in the course that you put a slide up in one of the lessons that said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." And that was a big aha moment for me. And I started, like the door, I started to then kind of look for the cave. And
That's awesome.
and then started to want to go in the cave. And so every time I felt that fear, I thought, okay, that's what I've got to do. So yeah, that's been I'm not really very brave. I'm not.
You just touched on something. I'm not really very brave. So somewhere along the way in this, you've learnt the discipline of doing it anyway, obviously. Because maybe you feel like that. I don't have the courage to do this, or, to really go after that goal, to get involved in this. I'm not where you are yet, right? I'm sure someone is thinking that. I've just got to wait another 6 months or 3 months. I've got other things to do. And so how did you overcome that feeling of, I'm not very brave, because you made a comment earlier today that it wasn't just the one decision. I've kept making decisions to expand my life. What was that like for you?
I think you get better at listening to yourself. You get better at listening to that little voice, that little quiet voice that says, I think you should do this. And before I joined your coaching, I was very good at pushing that voice to the side and not acting on it. And that didn't get me too far over a period of a few years. So now that I've started to listen to it more, it becomes a cascade of decisions. The decision to write the book led to the decision to get more help at home, which has led to me deciding to also step up in our family business. And now I'm engaging a cleaner, and now I'm deciding I might palm off some bookkeeping so I can focus on what I'm really good at in our business with strategy and with writing another book. And, you just become more confident and more clear as you go along.
Absolutely. And so I want you to imagine there's someone in this audience tonight who feels that way, that they've very much feel like this is something they want to do. And I'm speaking to you about this directly because I know what it's like, that you feel like, I should probably do this, but, it's coming up to Christmas, it's nearly the new year, I'll wait. And if you don't make those decisions here and act on it tonight, the paradigm is so insidious in holding you back. Like you will be in the same position, but it convinces you that you won't be. It'll be easier. I think that's one of the things I've learned, is that it convinces you that it'll be easier to make this decision after Christmas, or it'll be easier to get the money after Christmas, or it'll be easier to pay it when the next contract comes in. But actually, you've got to make the decision and go for it. I don't think it gets any easier. Do you think? You want to speak on that?
No. Not in my experience, it's not getting easier. Well, yeah, I'm getting better at going, okay, this isn't easy, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know what's going to come from it. So, yeah, absolutely. Before I joined TIR, I had definitely been on the bandwagon of don't have time, don't have money, can't afford it. How am I going to fit this into my life?
I think your words were, I can't afford to work with Karen yet.
Yeah, I really
she
believed that for so long, until I got to a point where my dissatisfaction and my desire for growth overcame that. And I did the same thing with Lead the Field. I did TIR and then got halfway through and said, I want to do Lead the Field now, and had the same talk with my husband and said, darling, now I want to do this one too. And now I'd like to do Inner Circle. So it's just, I think you just know you want to keep taking the next step. So it's not easier, but what's on the other side, and that overcomes the fear.
Yeah. Either of you want to comment on that?
I had a comment and now I've forgotten it. I think if you're sitting there and it is something that resonates with you, then don't wait to get to desperation, because you don't have to get there to make that choice. Don't wait until it is the point where you feel like you've got to, make radical change. And if you're there, have the guts enough to step up and name and claim what you want for you, because I know I said it earlier today, people say that we only live once. Well, that's crap. We live every day. We only die once. So you need to make that choice, because people are watching, whether it's your children, whether it's your partner, whether it's your grandchildren, they are watching. And the flow-on effect, it is so transferable to so many people. It extends far beyond you, and you have no idea who's watching and what action is going to come off the back of that for others.
So true.
I think one of the things I love to say to my kids on a daily basis is feel the fear and do it anyway. Because if you don't challenge yourself, what do you get out of it? Not much.
Yeah.
So feel that fear and do it anyway. 'Cause what's the worst thing that can happen? You can learn something about yourself. You can learn something about growth, and you might have that positive influence on more than just those in your immediate circle or in your business life or just out in the community. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Lesson 7 of Thinking into Results is all about overcoming the terror barrier. And no matter what level of growth you're at in the room at the moment, to go to the next level, to improve your income, to spend more time with your family and have happy, healthy relationships, it requires you to conquer the terror barrier. Whether you're investing in this program, investing in the next program, deciding to set a bigger goal, and the way your mind is programmed with everything in life, it is programmed to have you look at what you're going to lose. Your automatic setup, part of the whole high road and the low road of the neuroscience side of yourself, is to run. Not to think that there could be something good on the other side, but to focus on all the reasons why it might not work for you, it's not the right goal for you, it's not the right time, it's too big for you, what if you lose? I mean, I was even doing this around moving out of our own house. And I teach and study this, and I had to pull out lesson 7 and do the bloody worksheet to move through the terror barrier. But what you can do when you really learn how to do this, and this is how you create speed in manifesting what you want, is you learn how to conquer it with confidence. You learn to train yourself to look at what you will get. You know, wealthy people never look at what it's going to cost them. They never look at the price tag. They look at, what is my return on investment? What am I going to get out of this? What sort of impact can this have on the bottom line of my business, on the bottom line of my life, on my health, on my happiness? You know, they never shop by price. It's, what can I get as a return on investment on this? But the way the subconscious mind, the way your mind is programmed with anything in life, even when we know the change is good for us, you know, even when we know our life will improve, it'll still feed us with all the reasons why it can't, or it won't, or it might not work. And so the whole feel the fear and do it anyway, and the first time you do it and the second time you do it, you know, it's like, I've really got to psych myself up to do this. But you've got to just go for it. And I think it gets easier to move through it faster. I think was what I'd say. It doesn't derail you. It doesn't paralyze you or hold you back. So whatever that decision is in front of you right now, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you feel drawn to do, feel the fear and do it anyway. In fact, if it is scaring you a little, it's a very good sign you're on the verge of growth. If it's not scaring you at all, then you're probably aimed too low in terms of your goals. If you can figure out how to make it all work, you've probably aimed too low. And I know, Sarah, that was a significant reason why you're in Inner Circle now, is because you knew that even the investment, the size of the investment to get into that coaching program, it was new and different for you. And that because you had to step up to we're talking, high 5 figures to get into that program, that was where you needed to go, because it was scary to spend that kind of money on yourself. And that's one of the reasons why you did it, isn't it?
And look how calm and relaxed I am. I was buzzing, wasn't I, Karen?
You were.
Like, after that, I seriously
Never seen anyone so happy to spend 20K.
It was a big adrenaline rush, I think, when you say addicted to growth. It was like that rush, because I just know through working through this material, through experiencing my growth and everything, that, wow, there's something really great coming off the back of this. And that's exciting. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on stage and sharing with everyone what your experience has been like, because I know that many of you have questions, you might have questions, and hopefully just hearing 3 people at 3 completely different stages. You know, Jane, you haven't even finished your first 6 months yet. Benita, you're at the end of 12 months, and Sarah, you've been studying this with me for a few years, that it doesn't end. I think sometimes we can get involved in coaching and mentoring and ideas like this, and it's just a concept we go and learn for a little bit. Have you ever done anything like that? You just go and learn a little concept for a little bit, and it has a shelf life, and then that's it. And when you get into this, it's material that you'll study for the rest of your life. And if you're not ready for it, if you're not open, if you don't follow direction, then it's not going to be the right fit for you at all, and that's okay. But if you really have a desire to become happier, healthier, and wealthier, and you can follow direction, and you want to get better results, then just do as I suggest and come and join us. It's as simple as that. So thank you, ladies. Beautiful.